Pleasure to welcome you all for this TechNext India 2014-15 on behalf of CSI Mumbai chapter. May I call this meeting to order? I will request Chairman Mumbai chapter, CSI Mumbai chapter, Mr. Sandeep, to escort our chief guest, Mr. Sarpati, on stage, please. May I request CSI Mumbai Chapter Vice Chairman Dr. Gupta to escort Professor Dr. Kannan on a desk, please. May I request MC Member Subhash to escort Dr. Sanjay Prasad of TCS on desk, please. I request dignitaries on desk to light the lamp and as the auspicious start of this program. Please, sir. Darshana, Shivangi, Ashlesha for the beautiful Saraswati Vandan. May I request Chairman Sandeep Chindawar to welcome our guest, Chief Guest, Mr. Sarpati. He is Senior Advisor Niti Ayog, which was earlier Planning Commission. Welcome you, sir. I request Chairman Sandeep to welcome Dr. Kannan, Professor Dr. Kannan of IIT. I request Chairman Sandeep to welcome Dr. Sanjay Prasad of TCS. Now I'll request Chairman Sandeep Chindawar to have a welcome address and explain the theme of the TechNext 24.
Thank you, Pramod. Good morning to everybody. Respected guests, Mr. Sarpati, Professor Kannan, and Mr. Prasad from TCS. And warm welcome on behalf of Mumbai chapter, CSI, to this conference TechNext. And we're delighted to have you, sir, Mr. Sarpati, for today's conference. If you know CSI, Computer Society of India, our mission is to help in research, knowledge sharing, learning, and career development for IT professionals. Today, the CSI has around 500 student chapters and 75 business chapters and 1 lakh members all across India. Uh, at Mumbai chapter, we run around 100 courses in latest technological subjects every year, and we have people coming from all over India to Mumbai. We also have started new initiatives in massive open online courses called MOOCs, and we also started initiative for incubation for technology entrepreneurs. We started this initiative this year, where we help people on technological advice to companies or young entrepreneurs to convert their ideas into the real products and get into the market. And we are in this process of working with incubators and investors to develop an ecosystem in Mumbai. Before this conference, we had around 10 pre-conference events at different colleges, around more than 20 colleges in Mumbai. And this convention is focused on latest IT trends like enterprise architecture, cloud computing, Internet of Things, social media, mobility, and you will see in next 2 days. We have all the industry experts speaking on these topics. So we also have the tracks for the students and IT professionals for the workshops, online workshops, and also on the programming workshops. And there are some gaming and coding competitions. So I welcome you to enjoy these 2 days for learning, sharing, and networking. Before I close, I would like to thank each of you for coming for this convention and enjoy these 2 days. Thank you.
I'll request CSI Mumbai Chapter Management Committee member Shilpa Wag to introduce our chief guest, Mr. Satpathy.
Good morning. We have the honor of having Mr. B.N. Satpathy as our chief guest. As a senior advisor in Planning Commission, Satpathy looks after 2 divisions, namely Environment and Forest Division and Science and Technology Division. He is also the chairperson of the Oversight Committee of the National Data Sharing and Access Policy of Government of India in Planning Commission. In this role, he is in charge of the Open Data Initiative of Government of India. As chairman of expert group on construction of e-readiness index for India, he has been guiding the team in designing and implementation of e-readiness indicators for India to support the global measurement on network readiness of World Economic Forum and ICT Development Index of International Telecommunication Union. As chairperson of another expert group, his leading role has been to design a framework for measurement of ICT indicators in the country in order to support global monitoring and measurement of ICT for development. We welcome you, sir.
Dr. Sandeep, our Honorable Chairman, Computer Society of India Mumbai Chapter, dignitaries on the dais, distinguished participants of this 2-day conference, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, let me thank Computer Society of India to give me this opportunity to address you on the inaugural day of this the conference. I'm very delighted to be in the midst of this young, talented group and further privileged to participate in this, because this is the main driving force of the Indian economy today. Now, I thought I would speak on technology, which is the main theme of this, and IT education. But for a while, I thought, let me talk about the driving forces of this technology. Because in the institution that I am in right now, we are talking about transformation. The Planning Commission has now been changed. We are now National Institution for Transforming India. So if you can see the key word here is transformation. And what better can be transformational change can occur in the society and economy today is the technology. Now I will briefly talk about 4 things which are driving the technology and the scope for IT education in India today. There are 4 things. One is the global economy, the global trade, the Indian economy, the Indian IT industry, and lastly, the Digital India Initiative, which the government has recently announced. Now, why do I talk about global economy? When we are talking about technology. Most of the driving forces of technology comes to the global world. India today is a globalized economy. It's integrated in the world economy. Anything that happens anywhere in the world, in the technology, we must be aware of that. We must be able to adjust to the changes that are required in the global economy. But unfortunately, the global economy today is, in the year 2014, has been disappointing. The global growth in 2014 was lower than initially expected. It was very disappointing in the sense that the global growth in 2014 was just 2.6% as against 2.5% in 2013. So this was a real disappointment for the global world GDP in 2014. In 2015, we expect the growth rate to be 3%, marginally better than 2014. Now, why I am giving you these figures? Because we should be aware that if the global economy grows, we also correspondingly grow in that function. It is possible that if there is a recession, if you recall 1998, 1990, and then we had a tremendous slowdown in the IT industry. The technology changes also were slowed down. So this is very important to understand what's happening in the global world GDP, what's happening to the most of the developed economies. So there has also been a divergence in 2014. While the activity in US and UK gathered momentum, the recovery has been stalled in the euro area. Why I'm talking about this, they are major trading partners. We must understand that the recovery in US and UK has picked up, but there has been no growth. There has been marginal growth in the euro area and Japan. China is undergoing a carefully managed slowdown. It's another major economy. We are also importing heavily our electronic items, major country where we're importing from China. Why I'm saying this is because there is another initiative of the government of India, is Make in India. So what is the target of Make in India? We must manufacture that kind of technology. We must have that kind of ambience where we are able to not only produce for the domestic economy, but for the rest of the world, but within the framework of the global economy, as you can see right now, is that the year of 2014, which was not only the Ebola spread, but also there was a contagion in the sense that it was a slowdown in the whole. The growth was lower than expected. So we should be cautious in our business investment. We should be cautious and very careful in planning our business in the year ahead. That's the year of caution, sir. The second item is regarding global trade. We're a major trading economy now. Almost 50% of the GDP is accounted for by the trade, that's the import and export of goods and services. You cannot ignore the fact that India is a major exporter of IT services. Most of the IT industry, which are export driven, will not survive if the exports collapse. So, what's the trend in the 2014 and what's the outlook for 2015 as far as global trade is concerned? Well, it's very important to understand that global trade are in two kinds. So one is the goods, the merchandise, and the other is the services. Now global trade, the world merchandise trade is expected to post a growth of some 4.7% in 2014. Now 4.7% is not a small amount, but again, if you look at the global growth, and 2015 we're expecting a growth of 5.3%, again a very marginal improvement. On the import side, the 4.7% increase in global world trade is split equally between developed economies and developing economies. What is important is there are three trends in the global trade scenario. First, the rise of the developing world. So you can see your business planning should be such that the goods that we are exporting now is more targeted for the developing economy. Because the share has risen from 33% to 48%. The entire global world, the global trade, is now 48% is accounted for developing economy, and the rest by the developed economy. This is a significant change from the year 2000 onwards. The second important change is the expansion of global value chains. Now today, Indian economy is a part of the global economy. So today some part is manufactured in China, some part is manufactured in India, some part is manufactured in Belgium and sold in the USA. So that's the global value chain. There's the emergence of the global value chains, not only in the manufacturing of goods, but also of services. Today you'll be doing the accounting work here and doing the other work in Indonesia. And so that's how the chain is growing. This is very important because this impacts productivity. It's not easy to enter the global value chain. It's not very simple. But the moment you are part of the global value chain, you're an inextricable part of the global value chain. And that is where the business is going. This is where the technology is growing. And it's very important for any upcoming business to be a part of the global chain, to grow in the years to come. The third one, the third chain, how does trade take place? I manufacture an item here, bring it to another place, sell it there. No. The growth of the online markets. You have an exhibition of Snapdaily also here, with another event taking place here. The online markets is growing phenomenally. Please understand this, that in the years ahead, 40, 30 years ahead, you will have only online markets. So look at the platform that will be required. Look at the technology that will be required. Look at the way you will address your customers will be different. We need to act very fast in this direction. Now, today our offline market is a major market in the Indian economy. Today our global trade is by and large offline. But the growth of the online markets is growing phenomenally. It's growing very fast. So we need to produce our goods. We need to render our services in that way so that the online markets capture your business. If you are not able to do that, maybe your business may not grow in the way that you would. So this is the second thing that I want to say about the global trade and the patterns which are emerging. Third one is relating to foreign direct investment. Let me talk about the global investment. The global investment, that is the multinational MNCs and others, which are growing also, they will continue to grow if you are part of the global value chain, if you are part of the global economy. So it's very important for any business, for any entrepreneur, to understand that you are going to compete with a multinational if you're a startup. It is very important to understand that that's the thing that we cannot avoid. We need to understand the one thing, that in the years ahead, the global economy is going to be more integrated, is going to be more online markets, and more of investment from abroad. We will also have to invest in other countries. You also have a scope of investing in other countries, So that's as far as the global world is concerned. And we should be very, very keenly watch each and every day. Not only the spread of Ebola, not only the spread of a virus from other countries, but also for this. I'm not touching on the other thing like computer, about the information security or cyber security. I'm not going into those aspects, which are also very important as you get integrated in the world. I'll come to the second part. That how does Indian economy has fared, and what are the prospects for the technology, or the techs, or the techies who are going to be a part of this Indian economy. Now today in the newspaper you might have seen that the growth rate in the 2013-14 is 6.9, it's almost 7%, 6.9%. Now we were thinking that the last 2 years, 2012, 13, 14, were less than 5% growth, and it was a very bad as compared to 9% earlier, 2003 and 4. Now, it's very important for the Indian economy to grow, so that the purchasing power improves, so that the demand for various products also increases. So what has been the trend of it? So India, everybody is aware, India is one of the fastest growing economies in the world. Compare China, which is managing today a slowdown. It's a managed slowdown. No, but we are not in that stage as of now. Our per capita income is $1,500. China is $7,500. Look at the gap. Now, it's not that we need to copy China too, but we have a much more vibrant domestic economy. We have a vibrant business class. We have a vibrant entrepreneur class. We have a vibrant middle class. Now today, India is a part of G20, negotiating trade areas. Our efficiency is much more than what we had before 1991. Now, even though these 2 years, 2012, 13, 14, were not very good, India's GDP has still grown at 7.9% but between 2003 to 2012. This is remarkable. And certain predictions are there that India's, in the next 5 years, the growth rate of India's GDP will be higher of that of China. And our GDP is 1.9 trillion at current prices, 10th largest in the world. And the government has set a target of 8% in the 5-year plan, that is the current 5-year plan, 2012 to 2017. That's how the economy is going, and we are hopeful, and certainly the future is promising as far as the economy is concerned. Now, what are the other advantages that we have in this economy? The favorable demography. As all of you know, it's a young country. India not only supports one of the largest populations in the world, but also one of the youngest. 50% of its population is below 25%. And 2/3 below the age of 35. When you have a developed economy which are aging, you have the Indian economy, which is a very young population. So that gives you a much scope for tech, for technology innovations and all that. Now, the 250 million people are set to join the Indian workforce by 2030. A big chunk of the population into working race will be increasing disposable income and conspicuous consumption. This is the most exciting aspect of India's demographic division. This is what everybody is talking about. Now, Indian consumer market will grow by 2.5 times by 2025. That's again an estimate that we are making. The consumer spending in India grew from $549 billion to 1.606 trillion between 2006 to 2011. Look at the way our consumer spending is growing. So the demand is also growing. So putting India in the part of one of the largest consumer markets by 2025. It's remarkable. Why is it remarkable? Because unless there is a growth in the demand, there will be no business will come to address your demand. The variety of products will come into the market. So 70% of the expenditure is going to be on what are the items that we are going to spend on entertainment, download music, healthcare, communication, education, and education both online and offline, and majority will be on online. Personal products, services. So the growth will be on the services side. And here, in order to provide those services, IT education will have a key role to play. So organizations like CSI, organizations like IITs, NITs, regional Indian colleges, will have a tremendous role to play in delivering these services, which will be very key. So the rise of India's middle class is globally very, very significant and will offer fundamental changes in India. Now, I will not give examples of the innovations that have taken place, like Tata Scratch. Like I just today saw this laptop, which is an improved version of the Akas, and others which are innovative products which you are looking forward to. Now, I'll talk briefly on the Indian IT industry, and all of us are aware. Astoundingly, when I was in Department of IT when I joined Department of IT when it was in the year 2006, and at that time there was a vision for 2008, which was the earlier NDA government export, and that will be having $50 billion of exports by 2008. Now you can see what is in spite of the globalization, in spite of everything that has happened, the Indian IT industry's revenue has grown to 118 billion total revenue in 2013-14. And growth is again largely due to exports. 2 years back, I was in Spain, and the government of Spain had invited me to talk on the rise of China and India. How is China has grown? Everybody talking about China, Chinese products everywhere in the US and everything in China. But how has India been able to usher in the change in the IT industry? Yes, I said yes. The growth of China is in the hardware, and the growth of India is in the software. Now, how did it all happen? They're very keen to understand how did this economy, which is not as fast as in other economies, how could they be a major player in this software services market? India today in the global world, number 6 as far as the services exports are concerned, entire service, commercial services. And a major part of that is IT services. How did it happen? From 2014. Now my answer was this. The investment that the Indian economy, the Indian government made in education in the second 5-year plan was the major harbinger of this revolution. And the second 5-year plan, the IITs, the Indian Institute of Science, all these which have happened was in the second 5-year plan, if you recall, 1955 to 60. And that was the vision of the earlier government at that time, So if you do not invest in education, if you do not in high-tech education, you will not be able to realize the vision of the growth, which may be 20 years hence, which may be 30 years hence. So the investment at that point of time was very heavy. And this is today, we're able to do that. There are many other factors also, but that's what everybody was in Spain. Now, on the other hand, in China, the hardware market was entirely driven by the foreign direct investment and the totalitarian state environment which was there, so that every product we could produce could be priced so low. So here, our IT services was not primarily due to the FDI, but due to the fact that our investment in higher education, in technical education, in scientific education was the result of this. Today, if we are going to be a driver of the online market, it is going to be this industry. Now, the emerging geographies and verticals are always, USA and UK continue to be a major player in the whole IT services. And very interestingly is that they are, the exports, the domestic economy as far as IT industry is concerned is not very significant, but the growth has been virtually negative in 2013-14 as far as this IT industry, for the growth in this domestic industry is concerned, domestic economy is concerned. But with the digital India coming in, I think that trend will be reversed in the years to come. One significant thing which has happened in the last year, which I'm sure all of you are aware of, about a startup. Now, all of you here is one bright spark. All of you here is one bright entrepreneur, could be one bright startup. Now, this is the current focus is how do you nurture startups, and venture capital with the different departments are providing for Department of Science and Technology, which I deal with. They have a venture capital provision. Ministry of Small and Medium Industries has 100 crore for the startups. Department of IT has also a department of stuff. So most of the departments are now making provision for encouraging incubation, encouraging startups. Now, the number of technology startups have tripled in the last 6 years. Now, I'm told many graduates from IITs get a crore of salary to begin with, but then later on go and do a startup and to satisfy their intellectual creativity, the way they look at. I think that's going to be another area of exciting development in the years to come. And we will have mushrooming of startups, because the economy that we are going to serve is not merely the Indian economy, but the global economy. And globally, and the developing developed economy. Yes, Bangalore is listed as one of the top 20 startup ecosystems globally. But we need to develop that in different places of the country. Now, verticals like healthcare, education, retail have gained significant traction. Young, innovative minds are also growing. The other one is, as I said, e-commerce along with is also another area. So opportunities galore as far as the startup is concerned, and the government is making provision for different departments' budgets for this. So that's how the IT industry is at the cusp of change today. There was immense change. Now I'll come to the last portion of my address, that is, what is the digital India going to do as far as business opportunities is concerned, as far as IT education is concerned, and as far as our quality of life is concerned. Now, the Digital India has got three verticals, I would say. Infrastructure and utility to every citizen. That is high-speed internet, digital identity, mobile phone and bank account, easy access to common service center, shareable private space on a public cloud, self and secure cyberspace. So, one is infrastructure, as in utility to every citizen. That's one pillar of this digital India. The second pillar is governance and services on demand. Thus, we want to provide seamlessly integrated across departments to all the citizens. Services, government services available online real time. All citizen entitlements to be available on the cloud to ensure easy access. Government services digitally transformed for improving ease of doing business, but making financial transactions above a threshold. Leveraging GIS for decision support systems. So this is government, transformation government. This is where we are in the Niti Aayog. The transformation of government. Earlier what we used to do is, you might have something to demonstrate for me a number of times. We're looking at innovations, innovations in governance. Now we're looking at the transformation of governance through this, by making electronic delivery of services, so that every citizen is having this service real time, on time. This is the second pillar of the Digital India initiative. The third one is the digital empowerment of the citizens. Universal digital literacy. This is where we come in the picture. Online, it cannot be done offline. It is not possible to capture each and every demanding students, every demanding non-registered student also to have digital literacy. So it is where, and I think the Computer Society of India and the laptops which Professor Kannan told me is a great challenge. That's where we are looking at different models of delivering digital literacy. We'll also have to go into the details of this. Then all digital resources are to be universally accessible. All government documents to be available on the cloud. Availability of digital resources in Indian languages. Then collaborative platforms for participative governance. Portability of all entitlements for individuals through the cloud. Now you can see this gigantic task, but it's a very promising future. The government is determined on as far as this is concerned, and this is the only way you can transform your economy. This is the only way you can transform your governance, which has been a key factor of the new government, a key challenge of the new government. And I'm sure organizations like CSI, who is hosting this conference, will spread this message that here are the immense opportunities for each one of you who are here can really be a part of this whole campaign or whole initiative and deliver in the way that's required by the citizens. Now, what are the broad components of this? There's a broadband, universal access to mobile connectivity, public internet access program, e-governance, e-Kranti with the electronic delivery, information for all, electronics manufacturing, IT for jobs, early harvest programs. These are the broad components of the Digital India program. I will spend a brief second on electronics manufacturing. Now, since this is the theme, the key theme of this conference is, technology next. Where do you get the technology? Where would you get the technology? Today, as I said, Professor Kannan told me the indigenous product. Now, what about electronics manufacturing? Everything is by and large electronic. Like everybody, there is a slogan, there is steel in everything that you do, there is electronics in everything that you do. Now, as we all know, one of the major items of import next to crude, thanks to crude prices have gone down, so it's not a big major issue, but is electronics. Now, the Make in India is not necessarily to manufacture the purpose of manufacturing, but how are you going to build an ecosystem for domestic electronic manufacturing? We have been trying for semiconductor, we have been trying for various things, but somehow we have not been able to compete with China, which is a major exporter of electronic items in the global world. Now, how exactly? I think I'm looking at the bright minds here, the bright, lively faces here. And how exactly? Some people say that our commitment in the WTO for the Information Technology Information Technology Agreement in 2005 was a mistake. We should have allowed customs-free import electronics. But then the entire IT industry would not have been able to succeed in that. That's not the way we can go on. So now there is an ITA 2 negotiation going on. The issue is how exactly, if you are going to compete with a country like China, which is very low priced, and then we need to develop that kind of ecosystem to manufacturing electronics items, or just import. But then you cannot go on importing, given the kind of scale at which little India is going to usher in change. You need more and more of electronic items. So that's a challenge we have to meet. That's a very big challenge. Now, if you want to set up in a remote corner an IT education network, then, if it is available at a price as I have said that cannot afford, then this is a wonderful thing we can do. I think we have the talent, we have the mindset. What we need is an ecosystem. What we need is an ambience to deliver the products at a competitive rate so that you are not going to import. This is going to be a challenge for the years to come, you must see this. It's very easy to go to say that, well, you manufacture electronic, whatever price it is. Well, why should I manufacture when you are able to import from China at a very rock down price? So this is one of the challenges of the current government, and I'm sure some of you will be coming up with that kind of idea, which will be able to manufacture electronics at a very competitive price. Having said that, I would like to conclude with a few striking observations or striking message which I would like to give to the young crowd here and also the distinguished audience here. We must be a part of the global value chain. That's the message that we should. The global value chain in all products, so that you are a part of the global economy. There is a risk in that if there is a failure in the demand in some corner, then the whole thing collapses. That's how it is. But that's the only way you can improve your productivity. There are risks in globalization, but there are also the advantages in that. But we should be part of that. We should be able to bring out such technology which is not only affordable, but also frugal. We cannot afford to bring out technologies which are not in the domain of the common man. So this is the second thing that we should, so when you're talking about TechNext, technology which is not only affordable, but also frugal. And the third one is online movement of goods and services. That is basically your e-commerce, your detailing. This will be the very major things, the things that we are doing. And the entrepreneurs, the startups, and whoever is the part of this IT world, computer world, will be facing these challenges in the years to come. And I wasn't surprised when we saw when I was coming here, I saw the other conferences in Amdil. It's a coincidence, but it's the way, the shape of things to come. And you will have all kinds of online agencies in the world coming up. And the products and the solutions which are coming up will have immense scope to, because the way the consumer market is growing, there's no doubt as far as the innovative products are concerned, the innovative processes are concerned, the solutions are concerned. So, to sum up the entire thing, I'll say we have the talent, we have the knowledge, and we have the spirit in us to capture the global market, and we can do it. That's all I'm saying. Thank you.
He explained the global and domestic dynamics of the industry today. Let me assure on behalf of CSI has a role to play in training current generation and future generation of engineers who are coming. We are already doing a lot of work in training of the current IT professionals as well as future IT professionals. We are starting initiative in different colleges, engineering colleges, and spreading the courses based on MOOC. Thank you for whatever you said. May I request Dr. Gupta to felicitate Mr. Satpathy? I mean, he has been kind enough to come all the way from Delhi for this function and guiding us, all of us. I request Dr. Gupta to felicitate Professor Dr. Kannan. He has been great support for this convention. In fact, he has been working with CSI to formulate this. So thank you, sir. I'll also request Dr. Gupta one more time to felicitate Dr. Sanjay Prasad of TCS. They have been a great supporter for this convention. I'll request Dr. Gupta to have a formal vote of thanks, please.
Good morning, everybody. It's my pleasant duty to deliver the vote of thanks addressing our chief guest, Mr. B.N. Satpathy. Thanks a lot, sir. You have taken all the trouble and the effort out of your busy schedule to to deliver the address to this august audience, consisting of three layers of the Computer Society of India, the industry, the student layer, and the faculty, as well as the principals and HODs of various colleges and university departments. Sir, in your address you have mentioned certain ideas which you would like the Computer Society of India and societies of this nature, so that we are able to make the ideal of our Prime Minister, the Digital India project, a success. Sir, I assure you that we would definitely, and we are already striving to strengthen the 9 pillars which are envisaged under the Digital India project by you as well as our government. I would like to thank Professor Kannan for giving us all the facilities and helping us with all the efforts to put this TechNext convention together. Without his efforts, a number of workshops which we are going to run in parallel wouldn't have been possible. In fact, you can say he is the mentor behind TechNext India 2014-2015. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank our veteran CSI fellow, Mr. Sanjay Prasad of TCS, for making it convenient to be present here and address the gathering as a platinum partner. He is from TCS, one of the prestigious IT industries in India. Thank you, Mr. Sanjay Prasad. I have to thank